Hey guys, welcome to the Streak Initiative, and this week we are covering questions from Polity section which are important for your prelims 2021. Make sure that whatever questions I'm doing, it's not just about that single question, but that overall theme becomes important because it was there in current affairs. So yeah, make sure you cover all the ideas which are related to that particular theme. And before I move on to the first question of the day, make sure to subscribe to Streak Initiative. The links have been provided in the description box. You can avail a lot of free material for in the form of PDF once you register for this particular initiative. So let us look at the first question of the day. Now this question is talking about State Election Commission. Now, Election Commission is as such an important topic, and many times in the previous year question papers, this topic has come. So, usually what we do is we miss out upon the State Election Commission. We usually focus upon the the main Election Commission that we usually focus upon, right? So, let's look at some of the questions here. The first is that the function of delimitation, reservation, rotation of the local body elections seats should be vested with State Election Commission, and the second statement is that it should submit its annual or special report to the Election Commission of India and to the governor. Now you have to identify which out of these two statements are correct or both of them are correct. Now I think one thing should be very clear to you whenever it comes to delimitation. Whether it's talking about the Lok Sabha related elections or state or anything or even the municipalities. See, the idea of delimitation is something that is not taken care of by State Election Commission. It's a separate body which is responsible for it, right? So we have a delimitation commission which is going to take care of all the delimitations that is required in any kind of elections, right? So as soon as you read that term, I think it should be pretty clear that, okay, first option will not be correct, right? So you can look into other things, reservation, and I don't think you need to look into other things, right? So first statement is obviously wrong. The second statement is right, in fact. So the answer for this particular question is B. Make sure you are aware about some of the few details with respect to State Election Commission. Like the State Election Commissioner is actually appointed by the governor of the state on the advice of Chief Minister, but he can be removed only by the President. So this can be a bit confusing. Make sure you have cleared it all. And the manner in which they are removed is again the same manner a High Court judge is removed. And there is a certain set of eligibility or qualifications, you can say, for which are required for a person to be appointed as a State Election Commissioner. Like he must have been a judge of a High Court or served in the rank of the government for a minimum period of 5 years. So like these, there are a couple of eligibility criteria as well. You can look that up in, I think you can easily find that in your Lakshmikant. And finally, see, Supreme Court recently had stated that a government employee or a bureaucrat cannot be appointed as an election commissioner. So that is the idea because of which this portion became important. And that is why this question is here. So linking it to that current affairs is very important. And again, this topic as a whole, the idea of election commission and all those things, both state and center, is important here. So make sure you go through this topic. And now let's move on to the second question of the day. Now this is talking about schedules. Now schedules, all the schedules in your constitution are important, starting from 1 going up to 10, 11 and 12. They are all important. Sometimes a simple question might come like there was this question of what does the 10th schedule consist of. It's a very simple question, but the idea is that schedules are very important, and two of the schedules, that is 5th schedule and 6th schedule, is actually very important because they are dealing with these particular areas. So, and there's certain set of rulings with respect to these areas. So that is why they become very important. So the first statement here is what we're going to talk about is 5th schedule. So it asks for annual reports from the governor of each state having scheduled areas to the president. And second is on 6th schedule, it says that it contains recommendations relating to the ability of autonomous region to frame land use policies and policies related to reserved forest. So you have to identify which of the statement is correct. So answer for this particular question is C. Again, 5th schedule, 6th schedule, very important. Make sure you are aware about what are the different powers, like the legislative powers with respect to 5th schedule and 6th schedules are completely different. 6th schedule have much more powers in terms of legislature, administration and adjudications. Like even the judiciary powers that this particular body has are a bit more as compared to 5th schedule, right? So that is something that should be very clear to you. Like the second statement talks about land use policies. In fact, related to reserve forest, social and economic development, all this is covered under the 6th schedule. So that is why this particular body becomes very important. We've got tribal advisory councils which are related to the 5th schedule, and together they actually submit certain kind of reports, and again governor is the one who's to present that to the president, right? So both the statements are correct, absolutely correct here, but again don't stop at these statements. Make sure you go and revise the whole powers with respect to these two schedules that has been given to those areas, and what is the power of governor with respect to these areas. That is also important thing that you need to look into. The next question is, again we're carrying on the theme of tribes and everything. Now this might seem a very simple question. The question here is that Development and Welfare Board for denotified nomadic, semi-nomadic communities work under which ministry? So we've got Home Affairs, Tribal, Rural and Social Justice. If you directly know this question, then I think it's pretty easy to attempt, but people might confuse it between the Tribal and the Social Justice Ministry. So these are two confusing options. I mean, you can easily eliminate Home Affairs, and rural development is also, I think you can easily eliminate. So the answer for this question is D. It is the Department of Social, the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, and this board was created in 2019. So it has a couple of options like their welfare and development policies that is to be taken on, what are the programs that are going on with respect to them, their evaluation, any kind of issue that needs to be raised. So all those functions, common functions are there. One thing that I would like to add here is you should know what is denotified, what is the difference between them, denotified, nomadic and semi-nomadic communities. In fact, even from mains point of view, this is important, and even have examples handy when you're talking about these communities. So denotified tribes are actually those tribes which were earlier when we had the British Raj. So there was this act of Criminal Tribes Act. So all the tribals which were covered under these tribes were, you know, when they were actually treated as criminals. Right. So in order to control the tribal population, British had enacted this particular act, and a lot of tribal people were kept under it. And they were, you know, put under a lot of restrictions, like they had to report to the local thana now and then, and if there was any crime, they would be the first one to be confiscated. So all these restrictions were actually placed on them, and it became a very, what do you say, an act which was in a nature of exploitative for these tribal people. So when India got independence, this particular act was removed, and that is the idea behind the term denotified. So earlier they were notified under this act, now they became denotified. But the idea is that still these people suffer a lot of poverty and suffer the same level of social, ostracization because of that kind of image that has been carried out up till now, right? So that was a very big issue. Again, nomadic and semi-nomadic, nomadic tribes are something that are constantly moving in a geographical mobility, and semi-nomadic are those which move but they return to their fixed habitations. So I think the main thing that I wanted you to concentrate, again from mains point of view, it's important that you know what steps the government are taking in order to take care of them, the schemes, the policies, everything. So D is the answer for this particular question. Now, let us look at another current affair related development, one nation, one ration card scheme. Now, this was in news a lot of times. So, automatically this becomes a very important question, and you should know some of the features that are related to it. Alright, a direct question might be asked from it. So, the statements given with respect to this particular question are: number one, the scheme is implemented for nationwide portability of ration card under National Food Security Act 2013. Second is that it allows all the beneficiaries, NFSA beneficiaries, particularly the migrant beneficiaries, to claim either full or part food grains from any fair price shop in the country. And C is that the system also allows their family member back home, if any, to claim the balance food grains on the same ration card. And D is here none of the above. Now, see, this particular scheme, the one nation and one ration card, is actually being implemented under which ministry? It's Ministry of Consumer Affairs and Food and Public Distribution. And it is done in association with a lot of different state and UT governments, right? So, the idea here is how we can have one ration card which can be made portable across the whole nation, so that people have the ease of accessing the benefit they get under this particular act throughout the nation. So, by that idea, I think you can see that statement 1 is already right? So, in fact, 86% of the population has been benefiting from this particular act. And again, the second statement is also right. You can get, either you can get full kind of ration from it or part. So that is also right. And because this is right, because you can get part of it, that means your family, which is staying at back, can also claim that benefit. Alright, so I think B and C are completely linked. So answer for this is D. All the statements are right. So only D, none of them is wrong. So D is the answer here. The idea here is, all the migrant workers. Nowadays, we have a lot of different migrant workers. People are moving constantly. So it's necessary that one card can be made portable. The people who are living behind, their family, they can also access the ration through that particular card only. Also, the government has made sure that it's bilingual also, and the same set of designs are implemented throughout all the states. The integrated management of public distribution system, that is IMPDS, is the portal which is the technological platform for this interstate mobility of the ration cards. So yeah, so this was this piece of news for you. And finally, we have another major development with respect to the evergreen tussle that happens between the Delhi government and the LG. So finally, I think the central government had a strict say in this, that okay, let's settle it one and for all. And they came out with a bill recently, and that is why this question is important. Again, this bill was there in news, so hence. So the first statement with respect to this particular bill is that the bill provides the term government referred to in any law made by the Legislative Assembly will imply that will imply Lieutenant Governor. So basically, it means that the term government is synonymous with the idea of Lieutenant Governor. Second is that the bill provides Legislative Assembly from making any rule to enable itself to consider matters of day-to-day administration in NCT of Delhi. Right? And the third statement here is that the bill states that the Lieutenant Governor opinion must be obtained on every matter before taking any executive action on the decision of Minister or Council of Minister. So, your task is to identify which of the three statements is correct here, right? So, now if you have gone through the basic features that have been covered in this particular bill, I think this question will be a cakewalk for you, because these statements are directly handpicked from that particular bill itself. So the answer here is actually B. Now see this third statement, why it's wrong. It says that on every matter, right, you have to take the permission or the opinion of LG. Now it is not on every matter. The bill adds that on certain matters, as has been specified by the LG, his opinion must be obtained before taking any executive action. So I think even the some people apply that application of Tigdam kind of an approach, that the terms like every or any or all is something that can be usually considered as wrong. So I think you can apply that kind of Tigdam here. And if you do apply that Tigdam, I think you can easily solve the question because see, A, C and D are automatically eliminated if you know that third is wrong. So the answer is B, and I think this question can be solved with Tigdam ideas also. So yeah, so that's it for today, guys. Hope you are able to cover your syllabus very well. If you have any other doubts with respect to your preparation, what should be your approach, you can always come to us. You can register, we'll call you back, you can have a mentor call with us, and let us help you out in this preparation. So thanks for watching and all the best.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update from Civilsdaily.